Welcome to Water Wizards, where we get inspired by the movers and shakers of the world, those catalyzing change just like water. Welcome to the Water Wisdom Podcast, perhaps the most exciting episode yet. Monica Painter, as many of you know, and this is the amazing Sofie Ka joining us today. She is an amazing healer and channel medium, and she's going to share her gifts with us today. I want to start by telling you how I found Sofie, and then we will dive right in and talk to her about her awakening journey and how she stepped into mission. I would love for you to engage in the comments in some way, say hello so that you can connect with our energy. And all right, now I've taken care of all the logistics here. Let's dive right in. So I found Sofie on YouTube about 2 years ago. I was going through a very difficult time that I will share more deeply with you at some point in the future. A friend of mine was moving through an illness. He had COVID actually, and he ended up in a hospital during Hurricane Ida in Louisiana a couple years ago. And I was a nurse, so I had to completely trust and surrender to the process because I had no access to know how he was doing. And what this opened up for me was this like massive initiation with Isis and many other Egyptian energies. And so I got on YouTube and I was searching to connect with Egyptian energies. And Sofie is one of the most profound channelers that I found. My connection with her felt indescribable. And so I just was all in, Sofie. Like I was binging her meditations and her healings, and it really supported me on my journey. And so what I love about this podcast is being able to reach to those who have really helped you to change your life and activate your mission and activate your gifts. So I am so honored to have you on the podcast, Sofie. Thank you for saying yes. And oh, my pleasure. And I was telling Sofie before we came live that I was like, you're like a big star to me. So I am really like, okay, don't put her on a pedestal. We're not supposed to do that. She's just a human being, just like us. And so, Sofie, thank you so much for coming on live with us to the Water Wisdom Podcast. And I want to open by just allowing you to share a little bit about your story. Whatever you feel called. It's an open-ended question by design. A little bit about your awakening journey, because you were a huge part of my awakening journey. Something huge was reactivated within me as a healer. And so tell us a little bit about your life. Were you born just knowing, or was this a process for you?
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for this question. I've watched your podcast before, so to know, and because I didn't know what to say about how it was, am I awakened or not, but what came back, I asked my guide, I said, please tell me what is the truth of my life. And what I remember is, since I'm a child, I didn't care about humans, about life. It was all about who am I. So since the beginning, I always had this quest of who am I and why are we dying? Death was very present in my life. So since my young age, I already had this question like, why are we here? Who are we? So, and I wasn't aware of it, but they made me remember yesterday. I said, remember when you were a child? I was like, it's true. I was reading the future with dice. I was talking with angels. Yes. But it took many years for it to be seen by me. So I needed something external to see it. You don't say, I am that. This is not how it happened. So I needed to have to understand who I was as a human being. And then I use my gift all the time, but without knowing it. And then at one stage, life showed me, these are your gifts, and you have to share them to the world through people. Amazing synchronicity. I just loved it. Yes. People just like, oh, thanks to you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, so I had to, as I said before we started, always this fight between the ego and the gifts. Yes. How to not dive into the ego. Yes, it is very difficult, and still I'm always like, when you give this feedback, I'm so grateful, because this is my mission. I know it. I really want to be part of a process of people to find their truth. But then I'm like, whoa, it's not Sofie. It's things going through me. Yes, I don't know if I answered your question, but yeah.
Yes, yes, I love that. Okay, so from a young age, so
Yes.
I remember having the question, like big questions when I was a kid. And I remember like I was always researching ghosts and feeling energies, but I was not, you know, doing readings or anything like that. So I want to ask a follow-up question around, you mentioned working with dice as a child.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm curious about that. Tell us a little bit more about that.
I think I had number 1, it meant yes, and number 6, no. And so I would ask questions and I would read my future like that. I wasn't that accurate, but I remember, and I would never know until I die if it's true or not. But for years, the dice told me, never take your car the day of your birthday. Don't be in a car or you're going to die. And I was like, okay. So it's crazy, but I did it. So it's birthday and it's only been a few years. I'm like, okay, now it's okay. And now I can drive the day of my birthday. But if not, I followed this and I could see things. Yeah. So the dice was just yes and no. And I just beautiful wood dice that I had. Yes. Very funny. It's just
that's cool. I like it. Okay, so tell me about the Egyptian energies.
Oh my
When did
gosh.
this connection come in for you? Did this happen very young?
Not that I remember, but like I remember at school, with you in France, we learned, I think in America too, Egyptian history. Yes, so I loved it. I love the Mask of Tutankhamun. I just loved it. But it's glimpses, and it all came back to my awareness. I went the first time in Egypt in 2019. It was a huge call. And then I remember that I did 3 years before, I did the Egyptian alchemical healing with Nikki Scully. I did the training. I did channeling of Isis before. I mean, I didn't see, it just came. And then when I was in Egypt, I was like, wow. And I saw it all. Yeah. So I think it started about 10 years ago to be really aware of it. But it's always been part of, I remember I cut a paper with a picture of Tutankhamun, the mask, and I always had it with me. And now I have his ring, So, I mean, a ring with his name, a hieroglyph that I found by chance, amazing synchronicity. So yeah, it's always been here, but it came to my awareness only 10 years ago. Yeah, and then it went very fast. I can tell you, or I wait for another question if you want to know.
No, tell me, this is perfect. Tell me more.
So I went to Egypt. I had a huge call. I remember I was living in England. I went to see a Shiatsu practitioner, and he told me, I said, I love Egypt. And he told me the place where he received you, he built it like a pyramid. So everyone that I met was about Egypt, So then I went to Egypt. And the first time I said, I won't go alone as a woman alone there. So I'm going to go on a tour. I never go on tours. So I ended up with a bus packed of Australian people who just went to Egypt to get drunk and to have fun. And that was an amazing, because I didn't drink, and I was just, so I let them just be crazy, and I would just go, and I don't know how to make it short, but it's just, I felt at home. As soon as I arrived in Cairo, I felt at home. I rushed to the museum in Cairo the day after we landed. They were all partying. I was like, no, I went to the museum, and I met Sekhmet the first time in my life, the lioness goddess. And I was like, so I spent hours in the museum and just like reconnecting. I felt a huge reconnection. And then to make it short, I went back after this trip, like 3 weeks after I went back by myself. I was like, now I know. And I just went to all the temples, and I try not to touch, but sometimes I touch, and I would receive downloads. I had so many initiations. It was huge. And the second time, by also synchronicities, I met an amazing guide, an Egyptian guide, a real one, a human, who was for sure a brother in another life. And he went on with me, and we went through initiation. So I would go to temple, I would tell him what it is, and he said, yeah, he would confirm what I was seeing, all the knowledge, the history of a temple. So I had like a confirmation of my gift. Really, I was home. Yeah, I wanted to live there. I was home. But Egypt today is not Egypt from then. I traveled in time. I mean, I live I would be in an asylum, I think. If I talk too much, I have to be careful. But I experience amazing things. And really, it's here. When I talk Egypt, it's here. And I would love one day, maybe in this life, to live there. But yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah. That is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing. So another question that comes up is, tell me about your religious background. Did you have a religious upbringing? Okay.
No. But my parents believed in God, and it's enough, because I'm against, into bracket, religion. I love Christ. I work with Christ consciousness, but not Christ in Christ. He had no religion, Christ, Yeshua, you know? So he works with me. I don't work with him. I mean, so but I remember when I was 18, so I was raised without religion. And when I was 18, I said to my mom, out of nowhere, I say, if one day I get married, it's with Jesus. And she looked at me like, yeah. So Jesus came to me before Egypt. Yes, for sure, consciously. And Mary Magdalene, she's been gravitating around, and I've been so scared of her. It took me years to welcome her. But Isis came more easily. I went many times in Philae temple in Aswan in Egypt. I felt like, oh, I'm home. I wouldn't leave. And guards would make me visit places that were forbidden to tourists. All the doors were opening to me. Yes. So anyway, so no religion, but God. So I would pray a lot. God. Yes. The divine. Yes.
That's beautiful. So I asked this question because for me, I was raised Catholic, went to Catholic school, like in it. My whole family is Catholic. And something that I experienced when working with the Egyptian energies, first of all, Yeshua was my introduction to Isis. So Yeshua came to me, scooped me up. Well, I got on my knees and he told me no. He said, I want you eye to eye with me. He made me stand up. And this is where all started deconstructing in the most beautiful way for me. And he scooped me up and took me through a process of destroying the old garden and planting a new. And then he introduced me to Mary Magdalene. And then this is where I was led to the Egyptian energies. And so for me, I still feel like I have subconscious blocks of really opening my channel to engage more fully with Egyptian energies, because it feels like home to me. So I am working through that. So I asked that question for that reason, because I was feeling from you this openness, that you probably weren't raised with religion and as simply a higher power, which is what I believe. I definitely believe that the higher power is bigger than any church, and I don't prescribe to any religion. And so I'm like, okay, it is safe. I'm working through this process of feeling safety in all ways in my life to fully receive the remembrance, remembering those parts of me. So I asked that question to kind of activate myself in a way, because there's something there for all of us.
What are your blocks, if I may? You said you had blocks.
I feel that it is in general a worthiness to receive the power. I feel this, I was saying to you earlier, I feel this power that wants to flow through me. And I believe it's a fear, almost a fear around allowing it to be too peaceful. And I can pinpoint that in many things in this lifetime, where there would be so much peace and then something big would happen as a child. And it's almost like I've associated peace
before disaster.
Yes. So, and I'm like sweating telling you this right now.
And yet you have a sun above you in your background. Yeah, the gold light. Yeah, and the gold and the blue. So it's just the mind who is resisting. Yes. And I heard that Yeshua can teach you to let go of a persona. Yes.
Yes.
To just feel his hand on your shoulder and to just like, I'm okay. I'm okay. Yes. It's the fear of also of losing yourself. the small self. Yes.
Yes.
Because your soul is craving for this, and it will win, by the way. So you should give up before it becomes too painful.
Yes. Yes. And I keep saying, just let it. And this is, I've been in an extra meditation, like extra take, you know, and I'm sure that everyone is feeling this and can identify with this deep call to like really care for your vessel, you know, right now, and really take the time to be, you know, we get so wrapped up in the doing. Yes. And I have been a doer. I was raised by, you know, my dad and my brothers who I spent most time with. So we were always doing, got to do. I've got that German in me. Pull your bootstraps up, right? Get it done. And it's like, there's nothing to do. Allow the bigger part of you to flow through and guide you into aligned action.
So interesting, because before every session, and I consider this podcast a session for everyone, I take cards and I work with the animal power deck. I love it, from a shaman. And what came is the snail. Sorry, I interrupt you.
No.
And the snail is about taking it slowly. And I wrote all over wisdom within your heart to guide you. So isn't it good?
So beautiful.
I think that's the way for you, is to go slowly. If you go too fast, you're going to be scared. Just take, being the present moment as you're doing with meditation, but without, if I may, without trying to achieve something that contracts you. Yeah. And I love your background. It's like you're talking to yourself, like you need to just, you know,
just breathe and soften. Yeah, that resonates very deeply with me. Now, I have to tell you a story. I had a dream about a snail, and I'm so curious what comes through for you when I tell you this. So this was last week. I'm actually looking at Buddha right now with all of the 108 snails on his head. Okay, so this was the dream. A centaur came to me in the dream, and this centaur had the biggest horns that were shaped like a Fibonacci sequence. They were like a shell of a snail. And I was like, wow, those are the most amazing horns I've ever seen. And someone came in and said, come here and look closely. And I leaned in, and there was what appeared to be a bug hanging, just kind of hanging almost from a spider web. And they said, is that a bug? And I leaned in, and as I leaned in, and it came clear to me that it was a snail. And I said, oh no, that's a snail. And I looked over, and sitting on all over his horns were all of these snails just hanging out, kind of going with the flow, crawling around. And then you just pulled that card, and I'm like, okay. Okay.
I guess, yeah, the message is like, this animal wants to be your guide. Yeah, it doesn't make people dream. It's not a jaguar, but they're very powerful. It's a being of God. Yeah, divine. Let me see because I work with animals, but this is a new deck. So let me see. Invocation to activate snail medicine. Dear snail, anytime I'm getting ahead of the ideal pace of divine timing, remind me to breathe, be present, and slow down. Work with me to ensure I am taking the time to tune in to my own needs so that I can be in relationships that honor me. So, and let me see. And I guess it's for you, the reading. I had Ma'at who just showed up too. So find balance. Beautiful. And that's so interesting. Express your creativity from the angels. So they're answering, I took it before we started. I mean, they're answering your call. They say, it's okay, you're really on the right path. And let me see regarding your dream. So yeah, very interesting, the connection between us two, because I have a big property here, and to protect it, it happened like it's 10 days now ago. I started to call a team of centaurs, I don't know how you call them, and I asked them to guard my property. It's the first time ever I call upon these beings. I say no, and I saw them all exactly with the horns and all around my property, protecting them. So I guess from my vision, from my understanding, they're also protectors. So the message for you is also that you are protected, and that by taking time, you will be protected. and you will be able to receive this divine, your own divinity, without fears. Yeah.
That is beautiful. Thank you.
Welcome.
I'm receiving that. That is so cool. So cool. I love it. I love the magic, opening up to the magic.
Also, what I'm seeing is that, like the spiral, all is it will be by itself. You don't have to do anything, and it's sacred. It's a sacred path. So that's a thing. That's a thing. That's how you can touch. And for everyone listening, you can touch your own powers, your own divinity, is by doing nothing, as we said. Yeah, not being, not doing. Yes. So just let the things happen. They will happen by themselves. You don't have to push. You don't have to try. Sorry, but you don't have to meditate, you know. Don't do anything. Meditate if you feel so, by being, you know. It's a very subtle line. It's all letting things unfold by themselves, and they're all divinely perfect. And there is power. This being is powerful. This how do you call them? I call them centurion.
Centaur. Yeah.
Yes.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. So I have one final question, and then I would love to just experience more of your energy and your beautiful gifts and just allow that to flow through. And this question is a great segue because it has everything to do with you stepping into mission, or allowing your mission to flow through you, rather. So I love to inspire on this podcast and really help people to feel, to receive that catalyst that perhaps they're looking for to support them into moving into their mission. For me, it was retiring as an RN, coming into the online space, and it was so big. And I think it feels so big for so many people. So I would love for you to, in whatever way feels aligned, to share a little bit with us about how you moved into really grounding in your mission work in the online space, and whatever you're doing at home. Will you share that with us?
Okay, let me try to find a clear way to share. The thing is that I've always had this quest for freedom. This is my thing, freedom. So I've never wanted to be like others, to fit in. Even if I want to fit in, there's a power, a force that never wanted it, in a way. But I did follow traditional path. I did law school. I had my agency of communication agency in France and England and Belgium for 10 years. So I was my own boss. But every time I tried to fit in, a life would put me on a different, would put me out. So life, what I call life now that I'm thinking out loud, is more, I'm so attuned to my heart. I so want to do something with the life. I don't know how to, let me say it in the right words. I so love life that I cannot betray life. There's a huge love that I have. So I've been lying to myself. And every time I lie to myself, I hit the wall harder and harder. And I listen to signs. That's the thing. If I hit the wall, I'm like, oh, no, there's something. So then I just try to figure out what is the way. So I know that life is supposed to be in a flow. I know that it's difficult. No, it's not like, oh, all is fine. I found God, I'm fine. Not at all. The more you find your truth, the more it's difficult, I would say. But it's the joy of being attuned, yes? So I had a traditional path, traditional studies, traditional family. Like, you have to be a lawyer, you have to be this, you have to be that. But there is something in me like, no, this is not the truth. So always this movement, until it made me sick. So life helped me, really. So I became sick playing the game of society. I became sick in 2000, and I lost everything. So one of the way also, if you want to know if you're on the right path, if you start to losing everything, you have to stop and figure it out, yes? So the energy came from, I want to feel good. I want to be at peace. That's the thing. I want to be free and I want to be at peace. So once I realized that this is not the right path, then synchronicities happen and people just like, oh, I thought about you, blah, blah. Always something to save me of the moment. I'm like, oh, I don't understand. And, you know, but also then, sorry, after 2000, I had my communication agency. And I loved it. I earned a lot of money. I was like, yeah, I made it, you know. But little by little, my heart just became like that. And I kept saying, I'm not helping people. This is not what I want to do. I want to help. I want to help. I want to help. And at one stage, saying it, people came back to me and proposed me other things. Yes. It's difficult to make it clear because, gosh, so many things happen all my life. Let me try to find the right thing. I always pursued love, integrity, honesty, clarity. I try different ways, and all I want is for people to live this. I wanted life to be like that. I wanted people to be attuned. This since I'm born, I want things to be clear, and I can see when things are not clear. And then at one stage, life helped me to find ways of working through this, to make it not only my personal life. In my personal life, I always help people. I always gave readings, everything. Always like, you need help, I'm here, you know? But then life, at one stage, it became stronger and stronger. Like, now you have to make it work, you know? Like, people just told me, you have this, make it work, help others, help more. That's how it happened. And I took a lot of leaps of faith. I just trust life so much. Some days not. I'm still human, but there is a strength. So I go down and then I go up, like, no, I won't give up. I know this is not it. I know there is a truth. So yeah, I don't know if I answered clearly, but it's so subtle the way it happened to follow the mission. But it's true, it is leap of faith. I gave up being employed. I gave up. So I didn't want to be my own boss. It's so scary. I love to be like having my holidays in France. It's in July, August. No, I had no choice. Sometimes life told me no. And instead of struggling, and this I can share also. It's so interesting. Every time I made the choice of love, of the heart, following my mission, my path, I had kind of a temptation of the old world coming, come on, we have an amazing job for you every time. And every time, no, I'm going to follow the heart. And every time I made this leap of faith, I had no income for weeks. And I was like, oh my gosh, like huge fears, everything. Like, it's not always like, yeah. So I was tested even more in my faith, in my mission, in my heart. And I would like, no, I know it's going to work. I don't know how. And I would use all my creativity. I would meditate, ask for help at all levels. And then it all falls into place. Also, like I shared with you earlier, the more I tried, the less I could.
Yeah. Yes.
And when I try, and then I'm like, oh, I don't understand it. Boom, someone calls me like, oh, we thought of you. Okay, thank you. You know, so that's how it came. And the big shift happened in England when I became a massage therapist. That's how I could help people. I had healing in my hands, and to be able to, I did a lot of massage, and to be able to work more, I needed to connect to a higher source. Like, I really had to surrender. Because I wasn't that young. So I was like on the market of the massage therapist, being one of the oldest in London. And I had to call something greater. And as soon as I did this, I started to give readings while touching people out loud. Yeah, and that's how people started to book me. Like, I was doing foot massage, foot reflexology and aromatherapy. And people would book me saying, what do you see? And I was just going to do their feet, but they would ask me, what do you see? And I would talk about everything, the guides, I can talk also to the deceased one. And that's how it started. Like, I was like, I don't have to touch feet anymore. You know, I can do it directly. Yes. So yeah, always the mission to help people, the aim to help, to create a better world. I always knew this is not the truth. I always knew that we are better beings than what society makes us. This I always knew. I suffered about it, so I wanted to make it to create something positive. Yes, and then all open. Sorry, it's messy, but it's so.
That's perfect. It's so perfect. Thank you for sharing that. You know, what comes up for me is, once you know, you can't unknow these things. And now I can't list for you what these things are, right? But the way of doing things in the past, it just will no longer stand. And so I can identify with you, and I'm sure many of us can, in that, you know, this old paradigm of grinding to achieve. Now, I can really create some stuff. I can crank it out. I can crank it out. I'm good at it. I can speak. I can create TikToks very quickly, and I can blow them up. I know the strategy, but that it no longer works. And so it's interesting, every single time I hear it's time to up level, my whole world shows me what is still present in my subconscious that needs to be transmuted in order to go to this next level. And anytime I make it about me and the money, for instance, and I'm like, okay, I need A, B, and C. So I'm going to do A, B, and C. A, B, and C doesn't work. And I don't even try to create in this way anymore. But there was an old habit there. And then I'm like, well, it works for other people. The grind works for other people. Why doesn't it work for me anymore? And this can be very frustrating, but it's all part of the evolution. You know, when you say yes to more, that's what you get. And not everybody's there yet. So we get to hold them in their space and celebrate them for the way that they're doing things, but continue to lean into these new paradigms, these new ways of being, these new ways of creating, because there's so much available to us that we can't even comprehend with our 3D mind.
And we cannot lie to ourselves. That's the next stage.
Yes.
And the guys are really, oh gosh, I have received so many initiations there all the time. It never stops. They're like, no. And I'm like, come on. So I always, the mind is so clever. Like I try, like, no, I trust you. But, and when there is a but, it's over. They just wait. They wait. Like, okay, she's going to hit the wall again. Just wait. Gosh. And it's a game. We know it's a game. We know it's so funny, isn't it? Yes.
Oh, yeah. I love it. It's a game. It's a game. And wow, isn't it so much lighter when we can recognize that and play the game, like play the game.
And there's so much love. I think that's what I'm realizing now is like, I realized that my soul had put things all the way for me to see. Like when I see how I decorate everything, it's so many messages. We keep talking to ourselves. Yeah, this higher self. We keep like, oh, that's why I always had this card with me. You know, you just like, and everything just folds like that. And it's a game. And yeah, there's so much love. And the way the guys and angels and the deceased one just wait for us, they have so much patience, and we are the only one hurting ourselves. Like, yeah, I should do this, I should be that, I should. But I love what you said about holding the space for others. It's true that we are in a different reality, and society has not yet caught up with this. Like, just stop pressure, no pressure, just enjoy being alive. You know, when I'm like, gonna do this, and I hear my guys, just look, the birds are singing and and I'm like, no, but
love that. Oh, the birds are singing. You're like, oh yes, it's hypnotizing. I love it so much. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Oh, that was beautiful. Feels so good. Feels so good just sharing this with everyone and connecting with you. Okay, well, I mean, this whole conversation has been an activation. I would love to just go into a relaxing moment and allow whatever wants to flow through to come through and to experience some more of your magic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they say silence can be disturbing, but let's begin with silence. So take a deep breath first. We are invited to connect to a breath, to stop all this talk, and to feel the presence of a guide. Each one watching this podcast live or after will have the guides around them. A higher power also. And so they said, don't take your breath for granted. Nothing is for granted. It's a gift. It can stop and you cannot control. So feel your heartbeat beating. And they say that's the only way to remember. Just feel your heart beating and you will remember where you come from. In truth, there is only silence. In truth, there is magic. And I will tell you later who's talking. I try to, it's a mix of angels, Christ consciousness, and ancient Egyptian goddesses. They don't want to show one individual for the moment. They just talk as a different collectives. But for sure, the divine feminine energy also. You will find your answers only in this silence. You will find answers only in peace, in the absence of movement. Your body is already in movement. It moves so much. It's enough. You don't need to analyze everything or anything. What we are inviting you all to do is to love yourself. That's what you're missing still. You still don't understand who you are. You still need to love yourself even more, the way we love you. These are not just words, it's energy. Just feel the energies. So remember, understand that when you talk to yourself, you're sending energies. And they're laughing. They say nothing is for free, in a way that even thinking, oh, no one can hear me, it's already an energy. Like, oh, I hate this, already an energy. So I'm going to ask them, how can we control? Because it's very difficult to control our thoughts, isn't it? So let's see. So now Yeshua wants to share something. If you go back to your divinity, there won't be any harmful thought anymore. So seek your truth, seek your divinity, seek your awakening, but beware of not going into false awakening. The awakening is not seeking something. Awakening is releasing everything. Accepting to die right now. Why not? There's nothing who will die that will die. Only vastness and truth. So don't try to get rid of your thoughts. Don't try to control your thoughts. Remember who you are. Remember who I am. Remember the light, the sky, the sea, the sun, the moon, the stars, the trees, the river. Many things have been put in your sight for you to remember, to never forget. Remember to reconnect with your own body, which is in this life with Earth, which is Earth. Don't try to achieve anything. Let us work through you. learn to be an empty vessel, not empty of ego, not empty of you, but empty of any expectation, any idea of who you are. The sun doesn't think it is the sun, it is receiving the divine light, the source. I'm trying to call now, I interfere to call the ancient Egyptian because I know you love them and I love them too. It's, it's just, maybe you have a question or something that will bring the message, because it's a whole collective right now. Let me see. They're saying ancient Egypt helps you to ground. It's an energy that grounds you, that helps you to bring your divinity on earth. They say Christ consciousness is about remember who you are, and working with ancient Egyptian wisdom is to bring this who you are on earth. Hence Mary Magdalene and Isis. They are the expression of your divinity on earth. How to create on earth, from this divinity that you are. And they're showing, it's very interesting, Yeshua on the top of us and Mary Magdalene or Isis on the bottom. So it's the balance. I never knew this, like the divinity and the expression of this divinity on earth. Mm-hmm. It's time for peace. Stop fighting with who you are, the true you. There's nothing to be done. There's just need to be, to let yourself be inspired by what life shows you. And they keep asking me to ask you questions. Do you have any question? Do you have any question? Do you have any question?
Okay. And as you are saying, as you were saying, your last statement, a question came through, and it has to do with technology and really finding that balance. I try to do, stop it. Like wrapping my technology in like a light. I have been feeling, and I know it's all my own creation, that the technology kind of the power, I don't know, the almost desired influence, it feels like it's gotten bigger to me. And so I guess the question would be around, do we, just cleanse our field, protect our space, wrap our devices? Is there any advice around navigating that? Because so many of us are so invested in the online space and showing up for so many.
This is the transition of humanity. Let me see, to let go of this. And they're showing me the sea. Let's see. This is the transition of humanity. This is where you have your own free will. Nothing can be helped to help you. This is your choice. The sea or the sea of the web. Yes. Which sea you want to go? Which one is going to nourish your heart? So this is where you are really have full choice to express your free will. I inquire much more. I ask them, but what about protection? Should we protect ourselves? How can we cut? They say it's all about now it's ancient Egyptian who are coming. So interesting. It's a pharaoh, I guess it's Tutankhamun. Is saying we were more advanced than you technologically, but we use technology as a tool for us to find gold, to find the light. So don't be afraid of technology. Don't be afraid of the web, of all that is happening, but find gold in it. Yes. So it's
Yes.
a shift in our perception of what it is. If you fear the beast will be. If you seek gold, gold will be. This is completely, yeah, this is,
Love it.
wow. We use technology. We had so much technology, but we use it to find God, to find the truth, our true nature. Who is God? God is your true nature. Why are you looking for God? Because you're looking for your true nature. Get rid of the word of God, word of God. Just go for who am I and go to who am I? Who am I? Find who you are. The inquiry will be easier if you try to understand who you are, because you will look around and you will understand. And we left you a lot for you to understand, to remember.
Beautiful.
Wow, it's just like the energy. I'm sorry, it's not, there's
That's-
no.
It's just perfect. And notice we're both like, I'm like literally in the ocean. The ocean is behind me. And I see your picture too. I
Wow.
love the colors are similar. That's so beautiful. I do have a couple of questions. I pulled a couple of questions from the audience. And
Sorry, they just saying find gold in your life, find gold, seek for gold, only for gold. And they're really like, it's time now. Don't wait. Sorry, don't think you're a victim. Don't think you have to wait for something to happen for you to awaken. Just find, seek, set your intention. I want to find gold. I want to find the sacred in me. I want to see what is sacred in me. Wow. It's just like we you can make, yeah, we made it. You can make it. Really. Don't underestimate yourself. You come from us. We are the same. Wow, it's this is all the collective of ancient Egyptian, the pharaohs, priestesses. Yeah,
It's amazing. When I closed my eyes, I saw a pharaoh. That's what
yeah. I think it's Tutankhamun, but anyway, no words, because some people, when you say this word, they become nuts. No, what? Yeah. So sorry, you had other questions.
Beautiful.
Just...
Okay, so I have two questions from the audience. So Michelle asked, this is her exact question. I have been getting the message that my ancestors' guides from past lives are trying to help me, but somehow I'm not open to it. I know I have past life connections to Egypt. Could she maybe provide any insights?
Yeah, gosh, they're not happy because they keep knocking on the door and she doesn't want to open. And they're saying they love to talk with songs through me, knock, knock, knock on heaven's door. So they consider us, and it's for her also, for Michelle, yes, they consider us as gods, yes, so knock on heaven's door. Let's see, so interesting. So we are not seeking for an external divinity, we are this divinity we are looking for. Let me see the answer for her. Yeah, they're showing me a big door, like so there's a trap, a block in medieval age. It's a big wood, you know, this big wood door from the castles. So she just closed it with a big key. It's funny. Let's see. So they're laughing a lot. So there's nothing disastrous, all is fine. Need to ground, she needs to ground. She's so the question is, how can she connect with them? The right question, really the core of the question.
So she says, my ancestors from past lives are trying to help me, but somehow I'm not open to it.
Okay, they're loving.
To open the door, open the big door.
She doesn't want or she cannot.
She says, somehow I'm not open to it.
Okay, so she doesn't want to. Let's see. Yeah, she locked herself inside a past life from medieval age. Let's see. There's nothing that can be undone. So let's see. They say just look above. Look here.
Just look up.
So change your shift your sight, your eyesight. Let me go deeper, because for the moment they're having fun and they talk a lot with images. I try to go deeper. Okay, one day she will have no choice but to be open to it. They say we have eternity. It's okay. She doesn't have eternity. She has this lifetime, but she can come back and try again. That's one level of answer that is like kind of trigger her. I know she's going to be triggered by this answer, but they do it on purpose. Forgive yourself, rest. Yeah, she's very tough on herself, so she's invited to really forgive herself, love herself in a way that she deserves it. She's okay. Where there is resistance, there is love. So seek for the love. They showed me animals, so they can manifest to her in different ways, not only ancient Egypt. Yeah. It's okay, they forgive her, they're not angry at her, they still love her. They show me there's an emotional forgiveness to be made on her left side, so all emotions and heart. So she can forget about them, let go, nurture herself, take time to nurture herself, and it will open magically in a way.
Beautiful. Thank you. I was feeling on the left shoulder as well when you were talking, and what's coming through for me is the way that you address yourself to others. That's what's coming through for me, Melissa, is hold yourself in more esteem to the world around you.
She's very tough on herself. Yeah, they showed me, and it's yeah, but the answer is already in these words, in this now. She doesn't have to do anything. She doesn't have to go and see someone. There's no false promises. It's here and it's now. And she's okay. She can let go. She can stop blaming herself for that. And I keep seeing also the color blue for her. So she can really go for the blue and just take time for herself, really. All is fine. Really, so just send these messages so she would remember that, yeah, she's been hurt. They understand. They're showing me fire, so she's been hurt. So the past life is linked also to a huge pain. That's why she's reluctant. Yes. So putting water on the fire, letting go of all this will help. Yes. And then really, again, she doesn't have to do anything but just realizing this if it resonates in her, and just, as you said, you have to stop blaming regarding the world and just taking her place and forgiving herself. Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I have one more question. This is from CJ. So this is what she says. The question that I want answered is there something or someone from my past that is blocking me from getting the success I desire? Or is the fear of not being able to handle the huge success, like leading a team?
Was huge success like meeting a team?
Yeah. So her question is summed up is there something blocking me from the past in this life or another life from getting the success I desire? Or is it my fear of having success that's blocking me, and my fear of actually being a leader and leading a team?
Sorry, they always answer cross. So regarding Melissa, she can work with Sekhmet if she wants, the lioness goddess. She just showed up and she can help her heal. Just she can listen to videos on YouTube. I made some, or someone else, not only me, but others. Yeah, whatever she finds will be good for her, for free on YouTube. With Sekhmet, she can work with her, and she's very strong and she can help on this. She has to forgive herself in a way that sorry, it's the first question, the block that she has really comes from something that is huge. She's not playing like she's not doing, I don't want to, no, there's something big playing out. Yes. So she had to really understand this. So let me see, it seems the two questions are linked, by the way. It's interesting. Let's see. They're showing me for C, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but they're showing me a mother figure that blocked him, that blocked them, I would say, like putting higher expectations. No, it's Mary Magdalene who's saying, why are you all being so hard on yourself? But you love to create problems, so to be able to solve them, but there's no problem, only the belief that you have, my dear child, she's saying. So she's showing up for CG, yes, it's CG?
CJ.
Yeah, CJ. And for all of us, by the way, she said, I'm not selectioning, like, nothing can stop you but yourself. But there is a but. It seems there is a slight disconnection between what she really wants and what she believes she wants, or he wants. So there's an adjustment to be made. So you are invited to CJ to really go back into your heart, let go of all beliefs, and just understand and realize, what do you really want? Because it seems maybe this idea of success is not what you want really as a soul. And I'm seeing the image of Mary Magdalene taking CJ like that from behind and holding, and just something is going to release.
Oh,
do you have it side? You on your side?
That is beautiful. I really am just feeling the holding. I'm feeling the allowing your inner child, CJ, to really be held and to experience that deep, profound love of, like, from yourself, that we get to release. A reminder for myself too, that we get to release really, these agreements that we've had with our caretakers, that we get to release all of them and be the mother, father, best friend to ourselves that we lacked as a child. To really lean into that bigger part of yourself, just allow that to flow through you, to show you what is the deep desire that I have, that my human mind can't comprehend, that's only accessed through soul.
Yeah. What they're showing me is like, CJ has this idea of what he or she wants, but in fact the truth is here. So there's a slight but again, nothing to blame yourself for. It's all part of a game. It's all about life, learning. It's discernment. So this person is learning discernment. What is the truth in my life? And we are all, by the way, on earth to learn discernment, to remember to go back to the truth, to go back to who we are. And words are always the same coming back, but the truth behind, in fact, truth is very simple.
Beautiful. I'm feeling in my left ear. So left feminine. I'm feeling just a tinge in my left ear. I feel is just about allowing yourself to hear this small voice. And then the voice will get bigger. Being
And
in
also,
the stillness.
sorry, go on. Yes.
Beautiful.
And also to recognize your grandiosity, your beauty. Stop procrastinating. It is for all of us. Just breathe and open and just take your place. Take it. Yes, own it, but not with the ego, not with wanting to prove anything, but just own it. Just be here like a tree. Just be. This is Mary Magdalene talking through me. Stop hiding to yourself. You don't need to be seen by others. You only need to be seen by yourself, the way I see you. Mm.
Mm.
And yes, listen, listen, listen. Don't think, listen.
Oh, thank you for that. So I feel Mary Magdalene when she comes in, like I maybe like a veil. It's just this energy that kind of moves back and forth on the right side of my head.
Wow.
And I feel Jesus over here when he comes in. And when
Wow.
Isis comes in for me, she comes in like a headband.
Who, Isis? Yes. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I feel like having this interaction with you has opened my channel up a little bit, a lot of it, so thank you so much for that. Now we have come to our hour. So I really want to honor your time. I want to show you something. Are you okay to hang for just a couple more minutes? Okay. So this is what I did. I've been doing water experiments. I feel this deep call to just be in the water, connecting with the water. It's, I always get this nudge. Okay, Monica, like go with the flow, be like water, connect with water, just whoop, be with water. And so I've been doing these water experiments. I took a little glass container and put a little bit of water in it. And I did one of your activations, holding the water, intentionally connecting with your energy and the energies that you were channeling. And then I put it in the freezer. So I'm going to grab it from the freezer. And I don't know how this is going to show up on camera. We're just giving it a shot here. I want to show you what came through because it's really beautiful. It's like the energies in some magical way restructure the water, and it always comes out different and miraculous. So let me grab it.
It's a shame I cannot see the question of Facebook. I could answer others meanwhile, but anyway. Okay.
I know. Well, see, StreamYard did not cooperate. We could have done that, but that's okay. It's all been perfect, hasn't it? Now,
Thank you for doing this experiment. That's so interesting, with all the, wow.
Okay, now I'm not sure how it's gonna show up. Let's just see what shows up. Okay, that doesn't, you can kind of see, I guess you can see it better without the light. Do you see the lines?
Wow, it's drawing something. Yes, it's like a drawing.
Yeah. And so I will take a picture of this and send it to you from a couple of different angles so that you can see it more closely. But it's
so
very intriguing to look at in the light. Yeah, there is some sort of picture in there.
Yeah. It's showing slowly. Oh gosh, I see like a castle and oh my God.
Isn't that beautiful? Almost like a forest.
Wow.
So I wanted to show that to you.
Amazing. I love your creativity and how it's sparkling and how there is magic already in your life and in you. It's beautiful. Really. Wow.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. This has been magical. And in closing, oh, I'm like, the energy still feels so big and magical right now. It's like, whoa. Tell me about your connection with water, the element of water, the spirit of water. I know are you in Bali?
In Costa Rica.
In Costa Rica. Okay, you're in Costa Rica. So I'm just curious, in closing, what that connection has been like for you.
Blue. For me, it's blue. Water is blue. It's stupid into bracket, but I blue.
That's so beautiful.
I'm like 10 minutes from the beach. I'll always need to be by the sea, always. I've been, during the pandemic, I've been taught to let everything away. So I left all my life in England. I left only with one suitcase and a half, blue suitcases. And I went in Greece and I worked with the sea a lot. For me, the water is the sea. I work a lot with the sea. And I asked the guide to tell me what to do. So I just left everything, and I would do one day after one, just following the guidance. And they showed me Atlantis. Atlantis started among other places in Greece. And I wanted to go to Egypt. They told me, no, Greece. And I swam in Santorini in the caldera, and I felt Atlantis. For me, it's the Atlanteans, the water. And Atlantis is Egypt. I mean, all this, I don't have lots of words, but that's the knowledge I have, the knowing I have. And so water for me, I have to know the water is just here. The sea, I have to know water is closed, or I don't feel good. I need to have a sea. Yes, that's my relationship with water. I live in a property. I have a river there, so surrounded by water.
That's awesome. I love it. I have a little pond out back. I'm in an apartment complex right now, and I've been speaking to the pond. And when I first moved in, I was like, I said I wanted water. Could we go a little bigger than the retention pond, please? And I will be moving to a lake house in a couple of months. So, tap into water. It will lead you. So magical.
Yeah. And I don't think I talk with the spirit. Do I talk with the spirit of water? I bless water. Every time I drink water, I bless it. Every time I take a shower, I bless it. For me, it's a being. When I have a swimming pool, I don't like swimming pools, by the way. I think it's stupid for people. Please don't have a swimming pool. I made a mistake. I don't want a swimming pool. It's stupid. But anyway, I bless the water. I walk with the water. I cleanse myself with water. Yeah. Anyway, Thank you for asking this question. It's things I never thought of. It's like part of my everyday life. But yeah, gosh. Yeah, if you want to connect with the Atlanteans, go in the sea and ask them. And for my birthday 4 years ago, I swam in the caldera in Santorini, and the Atlanteans swam with me. Oh, it was amazing. So anyone can do it, by the way. You just have to believe, yeah? If you believe in magic, magic is, yeah? Right. So
thank you so much, Sofie. So is it sofieka.net? Is that your website? I say that right? Yes. Okay. So I will post links. Where else? I know we can find you on YouTube, Instagram.
Yes, YouTube. I think I changed it because I tried to change it now to Sofie Ka Healing because we're changing the website. So, oh gosh. So it's either Sofie Ka for the YouTube or Sofie Ka Healing. And Instagram, I think it's Sofie Ka Healing too. Yes. So
I will post links to all of that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I have something to tell you about the pond. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, they say like me with a swimming pool, don't, how do you say, don't put something down that is already a miracle. Yeah, even if it's only a pound, it's already this.
Yes. I love that. I love my phone.
Exactly. I love my phone. I love my phone.
I love my phone. Oh, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, Sofie. I appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. And wow, may your path continue to glow like that, and you have so much love in you and you share so much. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for seeing it in me. I see it all in you, and I will be in touch with you. Bye, Sofie.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe. And to learn more about how I support all of my mission work, Kangen Water, check the description.